So, last time we did a nice little exploration of what is, in this generation, a very special type. I was thinking some more between recording sessions, which was like a week, thinking about it here and there. About how the psychic type, no wonder it's super broken in Gen 1. I don't know if they did that intentionally. To some extent, probably not. But it ties in so well to some of the early themes of Pokemon. It kind of feels appropriate that it would be the most powerful type. Obviously, in the next few generations, Dragon is the most powerful type, but in this gen, there's only one Dragon-type family, and they don't get any Dragon-type attacks to use. But a couple episodes ago, I was thinking about why it is that Mew is a Psychic type, thinking that's actually kind of odd when I feel like if they made that Pokemon now, with its same lore of being the common genetic ancestor, is the idea back then at least, that it would probably be a normal type. I mean, they've made Arceus, Silvally, Terapagos, those are all normal types by default. And then I thought, well, they definitely designed Mewtwo before they designed Mew. Obviously, Mewtwo's lore of being a Mew clone was there, but they actually designed Mew later, as far as we know. Mewtwo is a Psychic type. Why would that be? Mew is they probably made a Psychic type because they did with Mewtwo, that's my guess. But it fits Mewtwo really well because the Psychic type is, of course, a type closely tied to the theming of evolution, both natural and through the power of science, that is all over these games. Very sort of late 90s themed, mid 90s, I guess is when these came out. Mid 90s themed. The idea of science pushing the limits of what's possible further and further and further evolving our society and our world. And Mewtwo tapping into a kind of strange power that might be innate to beings in this universe. I think Sabrina had a line about people having psychic powers. But pushing that further and doing things we never thought possible before. Ties into that theming. It's probably why Mew is a Psychic type, I would guess. I'm just guessing here. But the reason I bring all that up now is, of course, I just battled Sabrina, the young, rising star gym leader using special powers not well understood. Displacing a more sort of very traditional gym, right? Taking over for the fighting dojo, who practice a traditional fighting style that can't hold on very well against what new special powers this young rising talent is bringing. And some interesting symbolism, and again, it does make Psychic kind of feel like the most early Pokemon type in a way. So no wonder they made it super broken gameplay-wise with no weakness except Bug, because they accidentally made it immune to Ghost. And then no real threatening Bug types to threaten it effectively either. Of course, the Psychic type will be portrayed differently from the next generation on and not look so broken anymore, but the symbolism is interesting. Then I thought back to how the last couple gyms were sort of more traditional in their symbolism. Like Koga's whole deal is he's still a ninja in the modern day, and he's showing that the old ways of his ninja clan still have power. Erica is a big city gym leader, but she has a cozy, quiet, out-of-the-way space where she practices the traditional art of flower arranging. Excuse me, stumbled over my words there. Flower arranging. Thinking about the other gym leaders, there's an American soldier. I don't know what I make of that one. Brock and Misty are both just young, rising talents, though. Not quite on the same level as Sabrina, but showing the next generation still taking hold. I don't know what all of this is going to mean when I get to the next gym in this episode, though, and I face off against an old man gym leader who harnesses the ancient natural power of a volcano in a town that also is a hub of cutting-edge science. Going to be an interesting place to look at when we get there. Let's see if Sabrina has anything more to say. Everyone has psychic power. People just don't realize it. See, that's what I'm saying. She's tapped into something that other people haven't found yet. And, yeah, it's put her in a position of power, especially over people who still practice the old ways and are not getting with the times. The Psychic type sure is interesting to look back at. And of course, Psychic always felt super broken to me, even before I knew all the mechanical interactions of Gen 1, when I was a kid playing my first game, Gen 2. I was very influenced by the anime, as I often was as a kid. And Sabrina and her Kadabra, the way the anime portrayed them, looked like they could do anything. Like, Kadabra was teleporting around the battlefield, it was redirecting Pikachu's lightning, so Pikachu couldn't do anything to it in battle. Sabrina was turning people into dolls. Yes, really. If you haven't seen that. And Ash only won through something other than straightforward victory on the battlefield. I talked about that last time. That's that ramble for now. I just like digging into the early symbolism of the types when they hadn't quite figured out the exact identities that they had now, right? We've talked about ghosts and sort of the mysterious. Are they just another Pokemon type, or are they actual literal spirits of the dead? And the difficulty of identifying them, they're portrayed in a way that really stands out in Gen 1. Dragon types, the only ones we see, are Pokemon that were rumored to exist for a long time, but only confirmed recently, and they're portrayed as very mysterious, and nobody knows much about them yet. The flying type in Gen 1 is very different, because Game Freak had clearly not yet decided that it would be the de facto air type yet. Instead, it's very focused on flying anatomy. Flying type moves are like Peck, Wing Attack, Fly, while Gust is normal type, because they hadn't given wind powers in general to the flying type yet. It's interesting just to look back at some of those early ideas that got smoothed out over time. 30 years later, a lot of these things are very different, but we can see where they came from, at least. Let's do the item check. I can finally stop carrying this dome fossil around pretty soon. I don't need the card key anymore. I definitely don't need the Psywave TM. I'll hold on to the Master Ball for now. Oh, I'm gonna want to grab my Fly user. Before I do that, let's do the team check. We've got Fuji the Mew, the Psychic type that sent me down that whole rabbit hole, with Egg Bomb, Transform, Psychic, and Metronome. I think it would be funny to teach Soft Boiled to Fuji and really double down on Chansey special egg attacks. Well, Soft Boiled isn't an attack, but Chansey egg moves. But what would I possibly drop? These 4 moves are all too useful right now, I think. Or useful or fun, I should say. They're not all useful, but they're all fun. We got Ash the Pikachu, seeing how far that plot armor can get him. It's still running Thundershock at 6 badges in. Cowboy the Marowak, looking a little bit stronger lately. We've got Iris the Dragonair, recently evolved, I believe. Still ready to spam Wrap, although we do also have Slam now, so that's good. Salesman the Gyarados, probably the star of the team so far, especially with Surf. And, of course, the starter, Red the Venusaur. Yeah, now I'll grab Ducks. It's time, finally, to surf south from Pallet Town. I will be flying to Viridian City so that I can swap Ducks back out of the party. Am I on the right box? I'm not. Okay. This is fine. Let's do it this way. Not the worst thing that I switched to box 2 before box 1 filled up. So I could just fly to Pallet Town, but there's no PC there. Unless there's one that I've forgotten about. There are some hidden PCs around. I've been finding some. I just flew to Pallet Town anyway, just as I was explaining why I wouldn't be doing that. I'm gonna fly to Viridian. Okay, I just messed up the input there. Bear with me. Technical difficulties. I'm gonna fly to Viridian City so that I can get Red back from the PC. Let's just switch back to box 2 and then put Ducks in there so I don't have to do the whole changing boxes thing again next time. Alright. Team's ready. What Pokemon do I want to lead with for a surfing area? Let's give Ash a chance. We'll see how this goes. It's been rough for Ash lately, but sometimes that plot armor comes through. Of course, I'm going to make Ash a champion either way. Just like the anime writers did eventually. All the way back through Route 1. So nostalgic already. I can go say hi to Mom while I'm here. I can go say hi to Professor Oak, too. Just a quick little visit back home. Kind of neat that this is probably the optimal way to go to get to the next area. I could, of course, go south from Fuchsia and cut through Seafoam Islands, but this is much smoother and I want to battle trainers and stuff. Let's take a quick rest first. Oh, good. You and your Pokemon are looking great. Take care now. Thanks, Mom. Let's do a bit of gaming. Okay, it's time to go. Yeah, this PC is only for items. So Viridian City was correct. Let's check in on Professor Oak. Good to see you. How is your Pokedex coming? Here, let me take a look. Pokedex completion is 117 Pokemon seen, 40 Pokemon owned. Not bad, huh? Looking good. Go find my aid when you get 50. That'd be to get the experience all. Honestly, I'm gonna get closer to 50 than I expected. Maybe I'll get the experience all eventually, after all. Let's leave Professor Oak's last Pokemon alone. I don't suppose his aides have anything to say. They study Pokemon as Professor Oak's aide, but you knew that. Technology is incredible. You can now store and recall items and Pokemon as data via PC. Gotta say hi to the technology's incredible guy. And then we've been able to see this water since the very beginning of the game, just about. Finally, it is time to go south from Pallet Town. I'm down to catch a Tangela while I'm here. I think this is the only place you can get Tangela. It's kind of neat that there's a rare Pokemon so close to home. But it takes about this long to be able to catch one. I wonder whether I'm technically in Pallet Town. Of course, this game doesn't pop up your location when you go somewhere. They added that in Crystal version, but I think I am already on a route and not in Pallet Town. Can you imagine if level 30 Raticate or an encounter in Pallet Town, though? It'd be pretty scary. I think this is the only place to catch Tangela. Might as well go down toward where I'll be going afterward. Rattata, Raticate, Pidgey. Pretty typical of the area. I'll get at least a couple more encounters. See if there's a Tangela. Pidgeotto. So far it's just the Route 1 Pokemon and their evolved forms. Well, I got one Pidgey, one Pidgeotto, one Rattata, one Raticate. I'll get one more encounter, number 5, and if it's not Tangela, then that's just not to be, I guess. It's Rattata. Okay, we'll move on. Tangela, of course, the only pure Grass-type Pokemon in Gen 1. Also kind of rare in that way. All the other Grass types have another type, except Tangela. But we're moving on. Good time to use up my repels to free some item storage capacity. Now that I know that I can also fill up the PC. You want to know if the fish are biting? Convenient that I can battle these guys without getting out of the water. I don't think that's the case in every game. So it's nice that it is in Red and Blue, of all games. It's also nice that there are no abilities yet, so I don't have to worry about Lightning Rod on this Sea King. Though I think even when abilities debuted in Gen 3, Lightning Rod wasn't an immunity yet, it just redirected the attack. But like I said, not my problem right now. It's a 3-hit KO with Thunder Shock. Ash, I'm going to need you to learn Thunder soon. I don't remember what level it's at. I just hope it's around the corner. There's that Goldeen sprite again. Definitely one of the sprites that are standing out most to me in this playthrough. Obviously Golbat, but I remembered that one. Goldeen is, yeah, I've never seen it in that pose any other time. It's kind of neat, though. It looks kind of elegant in a way. Maybe that's not the right word. It makes Goldeen look a little more interesting than just ordinary koi fish, but with a horn. Alright, Ash managed to knock out 2 opponents. Good job, Ash. That Dragonair back sprite is a little rough, but it's not bad. You can pretty clearly see Pokemon's features. Well, clearly enough. Alright, let's Thunder Wave this Seeking. I am trying to speed things up a bit with Slam, but that move has a pretty good chance to miss, unfortunately. That looks like a 2-hit KO once I get 2 hits. There we go. That's a lot faster than spamming Wrap. So after evolving once, Dragonair is already looking a lot stronger. This guy doesn't like that, though. He says, "Dang. I can't catch anything good." I don't know. You get a bunch of Seeking. You should diversify, probably, but you're off to a decent start. You beat my Electric type. I got a big haul. Want to go for it? Is this going to be a 6 Magikarp guy? Have I faced a 6 Magikarp guy yet in this playthrough? And there's always one, isn't there? Uh-oh. Oh, if only I had my Pikachu for this. Oh, I forgot who I have in the lead. Alright, let's just sweep through them with Psychic and then swap Iris up front. I forgot that Fuji would be next once Ash had fainted. So this should be pretty quick then. He certainly did catch a big haul, I'll give him that. 6 whole Pokemon. Don't see a lot of NPCs with that. When one does show up, it's usually these 6. Okay, I know I said I was sweeping through these with Psychic, but I've just had a silly idea for the last one. I think the Intrusive Thought is going to win. Oh, I missed Psychic? Okay, unlucky. The 1 in 256, I think, chance of missing 100 accuracy attack in Generation 1. There it is again. We've seen it a few times now. Alright, apologies in advance for this. It just seemed funny. I actually have a massive advantage because of my HP, right? Oh, I'm not winning this with 5 PP on tackle. I'm gonna have to switch. Unless I get a million crits in a row. Why did that do so much with a crit? That was a lot more than double. I don't understand what just happened there. Gen 1 is so broken. So, when I transform into Magikarp, I get Magikarp's stats, except HP. But did a crit there use my original attack stat? I don't understand how it did that much otherwise. Did the crit overcome the transformed stat change? That might be a question for Bulbapedia later. I don't know how that did that much damage. That was a lot more than double what the other ones were doing. But Fuji, who I thought I was going to have to switch out, did actually win this without running out of tackles. Let's go. One of the best wins so far this playthrough, I would say. Darn Magikarp. This guy's upset. He used 6 Magikarp, and he lost to a Magikarp. Magikarp is a real problem for him right now. I seem to only catch Magikarp. He's probably using an old rod. He might want to change that. Anyway, let's swap Iris to the front now. I mean, Fuji's not getting a better battle than that around here. I'm gonna have to look up Gen 1 Transform on Bulbapedia and find out if there's any insight I can get on what happened there. Anyway, right now I'm in a triathlon meet. Great, didn't ask, but good for you. This will be annoying if it goes for a cover, which it does immediately, but it's faster, okay. Yeah, Slam looks like a 2-hit KO, but Recover could be pretty frustrating, so I'm going to go for Thunder Wave here. In fact, I've already selected the move. Slam does just barely more than half, so Recover can really stall things out. Well, let's just hope for a full para. Or, I mean, a crit would work. Harden's not great, because that'll make the Slam do less now. Oh, we got a crit, so it's fine. And he has Wartortle. Cool sprite. Didn't get to see one on my team or my rival's team, of course, because that Squirtle is Professor Oak's last Pokemon sitting on the table in the lab. It's kind of generational change theming all the way through in this game, isn't it? Because Professor Oak is old and can't do the Pokedex anymore. So he recruits 2 kids to do it. One of them is grandson. I hit the emergency button here because Iris is close to losing this. I guess generational change is kind of a recurring theme in Pokemon. Gen 8 is in large part about the new generation taking over for the old. But it fits really well in Gen 1 because of all the theming around evolution in multiple senses of the word and scientific progress. Good old 90s sci-fi flavor in here a little bit, especially around Mewtwo's creation, especially around the place where Mewtwo was created, which we'll see soon. Anyway, Iris leveled up. The wrap emergency button there worked out. Pant, pant, pant. I'm beat, but I still have the bike race and marathon left. Oh no, he's on the first part. He's already tired. Alright, here's Cinnabar Island. I'm going to first... This little dock is a convenient spot to land, but I'm going to first, of course, double back and fight any trainers I missed on the other side of the water. There should be some along here. There's one. Ah, feel the sun and the wind. Next generation, Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Winds. Or have those been done already? I'll switch Iris out here. No need to just throw those last few hit points away. Especially, yeah, if a Poliwhirl is going to try something like that. Might as well step on the gas here. Poliwhirl into Tentacool. So this will not be weak to Razor Leaf, although knowing these games it might tell me it is. Oh, no. You told me it resisted Razor Leaf. Also not true, though. And with a crit, none of that mattered. And then there's the Seadra. Not a dragon yet. Weak to Razor Leaf. I don't know why Gen 1 games are so bad at displaying type interactions. Tentacool is definitely not resisting Razor Leaf. We've seen a lot of things like that in this playthrough. Yow! I lost. I'm sunburnt to a crisp. Great. Cool story. I caught all my Pokemon at sea. Alright, he's gonna have like 6 Tentacool. Probably. Let's see. Oh, he caught all his Pokemon, the one Pokemon that he has, at sea. I see. Well, he's not wrong. All his Pokemon did come from the sea. Yeah, not messing with that. If it were a Star U, maybe. But Star Me is going to take a while for Iris to bring down, and Iris probably faints first. So, never mind that. GG. Diver! Down! Okay. Where did you catch your Pokemon? Oh, all over the place. Okay, we got a couple more of these guys. Keep me company till I get a hit. Nice that there's some fishing platforms here. Adds a little bit of variety for the trainers to fight. Fishermen, swimmers, not a ton of variety. The fishermen are using fish, of course. But, I mean, then in some other generations, they added a few other kinds of trainers just hanging out on the platforms. So that's kind of neat for a water route like this. Oh, that didn't do very much. Well, Iris is going to drop here anyway. Oh, good effort. Maybe I've read some more training. Salesman is probably the ace against Blaine. Fuji's already a little ahead. This is just not a great route for Kiawe. And these will be some pretty quick sweeps now. Goodbye, Goldeen. That burned some time. Oh, wait. I got a bite. Yeah! Probably another Goldeen. I don't know if you can catch Goldeen here. Maybe it's a Magikarp. Maybe he's starting on his team of 6 Magikarp. Hey, don't scare away the fish. Good point. How did that guy catch a fish on his rod when I was battling right in front of him? Oh well. If it worked, it worked. Shelter would be some good experience for my Pikachu, but what can you do? Anyway. Sorry, I didn't mean it. This guy's a good fisherman if he's catching Shelter. Must be using a super rod. I was just angry that I couldn't catch anything. I don't think me battling on the surface is scaring off any Shelter either. Probably reaching deep down in the water with that super rod, right? What's wrong with me swimming? I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't say anything. Oh, he's a cue ball. Okay, I understand. The joke is that you don't expect this guy to be swimming. Sure. Cue balls mostly use fighting types, so it is throwing me a little bit that one wants to train a Tentacool. But that's just me stereotyping. I shouldn't do that. There's nothing wrong with any of this. That was kind of a fun twist on how formulaic these Gen 1 trainer classes get. I'm entertained. And there's that Tentacruel sprite, another classic. We'll see how it takes a not very effective Razor Leaf. Oh, I took one. Didn't do much back, though. Got a speed drop with the Constrict. That's what that text that flew by was. It gets a few more attacks in as it also dodges a Razor Leaf, but yeah, still not doing much. Did get another speed drop, doesn't matter. Cheap shot. I look like what? A studded inner tube? Get lost. Why would I say that to him? I think he's projecting his insecurity. To be honest, I don't think Red's out here saying that to people. Anyway, the sea cleanses my body and soul. This guy's just a swimmer. Okay, nice crit, I guess. Getting a lot of crits. Of course, it is Razor Leaf. It has a boosted crit rate. Trying to learn Growth. That only boosts special attack in this gen, but I feel like this is always a tough choice. Growth would boost Razor Leaf, but there's nothing I want to drop for Growth. Tackle, Poison. Tackle isn't good, but it's coverage. It's good, nice to have something other than a Grass type attack. And then Poison Powder and Leech Seed are both so good. I just don't think I have room for Growth. Could be interesting to boost the Razor Leaf, but not feeling it. Another Tentacruel, okay. See, now a Growth could be helpful here, so this Razor Leaf would KO, but it's fine. That was a crit. One Growth would not have been enough, I guess. Well, anyway. G to this guy. That's probably almost all the trainers, if not actually all of them. I like the mountains too. Cool. Okay, and then this is where it gets narrower again. This is the grass where I didn't find a Tangela, so I've basically gone all the way back. Let's just go right down the middle here. Just stare at the open ocean for a bit. Not much else around. But before long, we reach the dock at Cinnabar Island. Cinnabar Island, the fiery town of burning desire. Quite a place. Got an interesting gym. It's got an interesting lab. It's got an interesting former lab, that's for sure. I'm gonna explore a little bit. And then get back on the water. But there's a lot to see here over the rest of the episode. We'll do a little bit at a time, of course. Pokemon can still learn techniques after canceling evolution. Evolution can wait until new moves have been learned. Do you have any friends? Pokemon you get in trades grow very quickly. I think it's worth a try. Wow, kind of on the nose there. Hey kids, you'll be a better trainer if you have friends. I have brothers, so I was able to trade with them a lot when we were growing up. I also had some friends that I traded with sometimes, but mostly it was just like, you know, I and at least one sibling would make sure to get different game versions. That used to be a thing back then. It's kind of weird to think about now when I'm all about just, oh, what's my favorite Pokemon? What's speaking to me most? Also, when there are paired versions now, I just buy both of them. But yeah, back then, especially the brother closest to me in age, he and I would coordinate what game version we were getting, and we would make sure to pick different starters so we could trade with each other. And that would mean that I didn't always get my first choice for that kind of thing. Even when I was in control of the purchase and button pressing. Like I said, now when paired versions come out, and it's just me here, and I buy both of them. Take my Raging Bolt from Scarlet and use it. Move it through home over to Violet to use in a tournament, but yeah, back in the day, I was trading Pokemon through the link cable as Game Freak intended. Anyway, you can cancel evolution. When a Pokemon is evolving, you can stop it and leave it the way it is. So that's two different people talking about canceling evolution. And then the third one's talking about trading. These are things that seem like they should have been explained way earlier in the game than this, right? If they wanted players to know about them. That's kind of weird. Alright, so we got the Pokemon Lab here. Might as well go there. Might as well get those two fossils out of my bag. We study Pokemon extensively here. People often bring us rare Pokemon for examination. What is this? Looks like an egg. But it's actually a photo of the lab's founder, Dr. Fuji. Whoa. We met a guy named Fuji once. Do you think it's the same guy? It's pretty much confirmed to be the same guy in at least one animated series, right? But just a little Easter egg here in Gen 1. Fans had to put that one together. Pokemon Lab meeting room. Sure, let's crash at meeting. Hello there. Do you want to trade your Raichu for Electrode? Don't have a Raichu yet. Well, if you don't want to. Also, Electrode I think is not worth it. I found this very strange fossil in Mount Moon. I think it's a rare prehistoric Pokemon. Cool. No, I thought I'd get the Dr. Fuji text again, but no, nothing on this. Mount Moon is a good place to find fossils, I can confirm. Hi, do you have Venonat? Want to trade it for Tangela? Well, I could get a Tangela here. I don't remember whether I have a Venonat or not, but 2 in-game trades in the same room. How about that? They're not the most interesting ones, but they're here. R&D room, okay. Let's crash some research now, and/or some development. Eevee can evolve into one of 3 kinds of Pokemon. Gen 1, folks, only 3 evolutions. I thought this might be a usable PC, that's why I interacted with it, but instead I'm reading the scientist's emails. The 3 legendary bird Pokemon are Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. Their whereabouts are unknown. We plan to explore the cavern close to Cerulean. Whoa, from Pokemon Research Team. I don't think I've ever seen this email before. I just interacted with this because I thought it might be a usable PC because I have been finding them in some unexpected places in this playthrough. So they name dropped the 3 legendary birds. because I've been exploring and I've been looking through binoculars in the gatehouses, I have seen a pretty interesting looking bird out here by the sea. Could be one of these three. As for where they are, these people are thinking maybe the cavern close to Cerulean. Cerulean Cave, you could call it. Of course, I can't get in there. I haven't talked to the guy who's blocking Cerulean Cave, right? I haven't checked what he actually says. But maybe, yeah, maybe I should go take a look over there. That could be where a legendary bird is hiding. I made a cool TM. It can cause all kinds of fun. Okay, TM35. What is it? That's the sound of a metronome. Let's go. It tweaks your Pokemon's brain into using moves it doesn't know. Why is metronome a TM? I cannot possibly explain that to you. But that is the TM I just picked up. Let's see what can learn it in my team. My Mew knows it already, of course. I think Pikachu might be able to learn metronome. No? Nobody in my party except the one Pokemon that already knows it? I thought maybe Pikachu would be able to learn metronome. Is it just going to be like Clefairy and Mew are the only ones that get this TM? Is it other super exclusive TM in the 50 slots that they had to work with? Well, anyway, let's head to the testing room. Can we read some more emails? Doesn't look like it. I'm looking for Ponyta. Want to trade one for Seal? So that's now 3 in-game trades in this building, but they're not especially interesting ones. But if you really like in-game trades, this is the place for you. I guess they want to swap Pokemon around a lot so they can study them. Makes some kind of sense, I guess. And now it's this guy, Hiya. Hi, I think he just said Hiya. Hiya. I am important doctor. I study here rare Pokemon fossils. Have you a fossil for me? I do. Let's give him the Dome Fossil first. Oh, that is Dome Fossil. It is Fossil of Kabuto, Pokemon that is already extinct. My resurrection machine will make that Pokemon live again. Yes. So, you hurry and give me that. Alright, so I hand over the Dome Fossil. I take a little time. You go for a walk a little while. Okay, that's all he has to say right now. What if I go over here, read his emails some more? No. Alright, well, let's not go too far. Let's just step out of the room and then go right back in. Oh, I actually thought that would do it. Guess not. Okay. What if I step outside and then right back in? Where were you? You told me to take a walk, bro. Your fossil is back to life. It was Kabuto, like I think. So I got a Kabuto. I thought of a nickname for this and then I forgot. Nice party sprite. Kind of looks like the fossil I didn't pick, but that's fine. I'll name it after a gym leader who uses fossil Pokemon. Rourke. Okay, sent to the PC. Hiya, I am important doctor. I study here Pokemon fossils. Yeah, I'll give him the Old Amber. That is Old Amber. It is fossil of Aerodactyl, a Pokemon that is already extinct. My resurrection machine will make that Pokemon live again. So, you hurry and give me that. I take a little time. I'll take a longer walk this time. Old Amber would not be a fossil of Aerodactyl, right? It just would have Aerodactyl DNA in it, but it's a piece of amber. You'd think that's in the name. I mean, I think it's a Jurassic Park reference, right? Or like the same kind of thing. I think I talked about this before. I haven't seen Jurassic Park. I haven't seen any of those movies, including the first one. But they like find the dinosaur DNA in prehistoric mosquitoes frozen in amber or something like that, right? And that's the reference Pokemon is doing here. I think that's right. It never hurts to have extra items. Don't they have X attack? It's good for battles. Do they have X attack? Let's see. Nope. Too bad, it's good for battles. But they don't have it. Alright, let's go to the gym. Just kidding, the door is locked. I didn't control that movement. I got booted away from the gym because I couldn't go in. Scientists conduct experiments in the burned out building. Oh, I didn't misread that. That was the present tense. They do that now? Okay. Cinnabar Jim's Blaine is an odd man who has lived here for decades. I thought she was saying an old man, but she did sort of say that too. Oh, yeah, that's the town signs. This is a gym sign. The hot-headed quiz master, but I can't get in there. He locked the door. No challengers. The burned-out building's probably not that interesting. I guess we'll wander by later, huh? Alright. Otherwise, that was the town. Let's go pick up my Aerodactyl and then... yeah, take to the sea again. Where were you? It was Aerodactyl, I think. Got Aerodactyl. Aerodactyl is it's kind of the standout fossil Pokemon in this generation. It's the only one that doesn't evolve. It's the strongest. In that anime episode where Ash got stuck underground with a bunch of fossil Pokemon, it was the one that all the others were afraid of. So we'll give it the name of a more serious trainer who uses fossils. There we go. Took me some time to find the N. But with that, Steven goes to the box 2 on the PC. Hiya! I am important doctor. I study here rare Pokemon fossils. Have you a fossil for me? No, is too bad. Is too bad. I'm never getting you another fossil. Those are all the ones I can get. Let's go look at my new Pokemon in the PC, because we haven't actually seen them yet. Maybe under different circumstances I would have trained them, but I'm good with the team that I have, except I think I'm going to make one more change, but it's not going to involve either of those. Okay. If I deposit someone first, then can I look at their summary screens? I didn't look at my Lapras either. That's not a bad sprite. It has Water Gun and Growl. Well, I could teach Surf immediately. Level 16 is weirdly low for this Lapras, but I guess they really did anticipate that you might just go do the Sylph stuff as soon as you're able. Which is way before, of course, 6th gym time. It unlocks a lot earlier, and so there were a lot of low levels in there, but I'm still surprised. Oh, 15, not 16. I'm still surprised by this. And then, of course, the Hitmonlee that I got in Saffron City is at level 30. So maybe I'm overthinking some things that were underthought by Game Freak. Who knows? Anyway, we got Rourke, my level 30 Kabuto. I think in Fire Red and Leaf Green, the fossil Pokemon are at level 5, right? Which is really inconvenient, actually, if you want to train them. They got that one more right in Gen 1. Level 30, that's an interesting sprite. It's recognizably a Kabuto, but it does kind of feel like they haven't quite finalized the design yet. Rock and Water type, of course, with Scratch and Harden. Could be an interesting Pokemon to train, but yeah, I don't have room for it in my team. Have to pick only 6, and even when there are only 151, that's still kind of tricky sometimes. And then we got Steven, my Aerodactyl. That's a cool sprite. Wing Attack and Agility. Wing Attack is super weak in Gen 1, but still, Aerodactyl is super strong. I would rather train Kabuto if I were picking one for this playthrough, just because I've trained Aerodactyl more times in the past, and I think Kabuto would be more interesting here. I forgot to get Kiawe out of the box. But, yeah, I don't have room. My team is pretty close to final. Alright, almost time to complete this loop, sort of. Let's hop on the back of my Gyarados once again. Keep using up these repels. Fight some swimmers. I swam here from Cinnabar Island. Good job. Actually did cover some distance, even just to get this far from the island. I was about to say, oh right, she's a picnicker. Actually, no, the swimmers the woman swimmers I fought earlier were beauties. So that there's that 1 in 256 miss again. Twice already this episode. So it is kind of noteworthy that this one's a picnicker. By which I mean a junior trainer, because that's what they're called in this generation. It's kind of neat, actually, that you can see so many different kinds of NPCs swimming. And they have the same overworld sprite, but they're actually a bunch of different trainer classes mixed together. In later generations, they do kind of tend to get standardized into just all being swimmers or triathletes. But yeah, you can see someone swimming. Same old overworld sprite as everyone else. And they're actually a junior trainer or a cue ball. It is a little bit of a neat approach here. It's different even for me because, again, I started with Gen 2. They weren't doing that even in that generation. Alright, Ash won a battle. Let's go. I'm so disappointed. Well, don't get too worked up about what Pokemon you just lost to. Don't hurt his feelings. Pokemon have taken over an abandoned mansion on Cinnabar. That's the place I didn't go yet. What a coincidence. I rode my bird Pokemon here, so there we go. Okay, even in Gen 1, there's a bird keeper on one of these platforms at least. And I think in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, these are not just like wooden platforms out in the water. They're little sandbars. They seem like they might have formed naturally. So yeah, it's not a bad start to this route that I think does get improved in later games. Maybe even Fire Red and Leaf Green made that change, I don't remember. But they were actually already doing pretty well at making this an interesting area. Even back in Gen 1. Good job, Game Freak. Anyway, let's take down this Fearow. Just kidding. It's going to take another attack to do that. If we get the chance. Okay, only hit twice. Good. I don't know why I'm using Swift to save PP as if it's going to matter. But I thought, hey, his other Pokemon might be weaker than that Fearow he led with. Instead, nope, we get an identical Fearow. It's just going to be 3 Fearow. Uh-oh. Oh, he got me good with that. I didn't see that coming. I didn't know Thunder Wave was coming back at me. Well, bye, Ash. Anyway, next Pokemon. Yeah, I had a feeling it would take a slam, unfortunately. Oh, next one gets it. And is it going to be a third level 30 Fearow? Nope, this one's a Pidgeotto. Okay. I'll paralyze it too. Why not? I don't think Pidgeotto even gets Mirror Move. Unless it's a Gen 1 TM, which it might be, but I don't think it gets it. I might even have that TM already, I don't remember. But I don't think it gets it by level up, so I'm not worried about getting paralyzed back this time. They really came up with some weird moves in the early generations. Mirror Move, of course, being a classic example. I guess Metronome is another good one. But anyway. There goes that guy. Oh no! My birds can't fly me back. Why not? They can use HMs even if they're fainted. You just don't have the HM? That's too bad. Check out my buff physique. Okay. Alright, here's this again. I'm just gonna switch. I'm gonna switch to red. Skip some steps here. Yeah, it's just going for recover immediately. Let's not play with that. Razor Leaf is just critting everything anyway. Wimpy. I should have been buffing up my Pokemon, not me. And people will keep learning that lesson for a while. Look at that. I've already battled that trainer, because I've already been to that side of the barrier. Not this one, though. Are you on vacation, too? Oh, another junior trainer. Don't poison me, please? Oh. I tried asking nicely. Oh well. No poison damage on this turn, I think, and then she has a Horsey, and I'll just switch. I'll get a little bit of switch training experience, why not? Oh, well, that's a little annoying. I guess it gives me a why not, but too late. Still land this attack, and I think she has one more Pokemon. Yeah. Seal. Cute. I think I already have one. So all the more reason not to take that in-game trade. I think I caught one when I went to the Seafoam Islands last time. Now I'm missing all my Razor Leafs. That's off of one smoke screen. Pretty devastating. There we go. I think that was 3 misses in a row. Now back to critting everything, I hope. Nice. Seal, of course, not even an ice type yet. But that one was spamming Headbutt anyway, not like Aurora Beam. No mercy at all. Seafoam used to be one island. Oh, what happened? Seafoam Islands. We'll come back. Let's see the rest of this route. Got a few things to do. Seafoam Islands is not the immediate next one. We'll be going in there soon. The Repel didn't keep this away because it's at a higher level than Iris, but okay, got away safely. Can I get another battle to switch train Iris before Iris faints? Wouldn't bet on it, but we'll see. Should run out of regular Repels this episode. Also, I've gotten both fossils out of my bag, so hey, I'm cleaning up some inventory space. My boy space friend gave me big pearls. Great. Okay, and here's a beauty. So yeah, we found at least 4 different trainer classes out on the water. 4 that I've noticed. Out in the water, I mean. Kind of neat. One more little bit of switch training before Iris faints. Shelter, also not an ice type yet. Super effective, but no stab. Didn't do much. Wouldn't have done much with stab either. Here's another one. She uses these Pokemon and talks about pearls. Sure. Guess I know what this trainer is about. And a Cloyster, of course. Oh, GG. That is an ice type, but it won't get to attack. I wonder why Cloyster is an ice type. I don't think I've ever known the reason for that one. Dugong's pretty obvious. Oh, anyway. Don't touch my pearls. Okay. Will my pearls grow bigger inside Cloyster? Yeah, she really has one thing that she thinks about, huh? Oh, I'll get one more switch out for Iris. Cinnabar in the west has a lab for Pokemon. Great. I guess it is possible that I could come here and battle her before reaching Cinnabar, so fair enough. Never a likely route on a playthrough, but could happen. But believe me, I've already met an important doctor over there, and I've read some internal emails, so I already know full well what you're talking about. Maybe they shouldn't have let a kid just wander around their science lab, but it's fine. Nothing went wrong, only good things happened. Okay, wake up. Just goes for double slap. I don't know whether the opponent in Gen 1, the NPC opponent knows what move you select before they pick their own move, but I don't know whether they know whether you'll wake up ahead of time. I thought maybe it would know and would go for Hypnosis again immediately, but I haven't been seeing that at all through this playthrough, so probably maybe they don't know that part. Anyway. Once I land my Razor Leafs, these are pretty quick battles. Wait! Cinnabar is a volcanic island. Okay, great. Iris fainted. Iris did a good job. And what do you know? I'm already back at Cinnabar. Let's go to the Pokemon Center and heal everyone, and then get ducks out of the PC because I have a few errands to run. I don't know why I opened the menu. Sometimes I'm just hitting buttons, huh? Alright, let's withdraw ducks. That email talked about the cavern by Cerulean City, and it did occur to me that I haven't gone and checked that out yet, so that's next on the agenda. Let's see what we find over there. There could be legendary birds, or at least the email writer seems to think so. Let's speed this up a little bit. There's a guy blocking the cavern, of course, but we knew that. It is a little bit awkward having to go into the menu every time I want to use an HM. Underrated Gen 2 change that you could just hit A on the thing in front of you and not have to go into the menu. It's alright though. Hello, are there legendary birds in here? Or like any kind of legendary Pokemon? You know, I'm not picky. This is Cerulean Cave. Horribly strong Pokemon live in there. The Pokemon League champion is the only person who is allowed in. Okay, never mind. This guy and his giant hair say no. I absolutely was one of the kids that didn't distinguish very well between this guy's sprite and the cave entrance behind him and thought his hair was enormous. I think there were many such kids back in the day. I was one. I can see, when I move past him, I can see where his hair ends and the cave entrance begins, but you can understand why I was confused, right? Anyway, I think I also didn't go over here yet. There's probably something to find here. Up top on these ledges. I don't think I battled her. I came to get my mushroom Pokemon. Uh-oh. She's gonna spam Spore into me. With her mushroom Pokemon, I assume. Yeah, look at that. That's a mushroom Pokemon. I'm not letting Ash mess with this. Let's just swap to, honestly, Fuji and spam Psychic. Although, these probably have Leech Life, so rare Pokemon in this game that can hit a Psychic type for super. That Spore looked serious. The way the flashing effect, while it also targeted it to me. This could be one of the few Pokemon in this game that can hit Mew for super effective damage. That's what I'm getting at. But also, yeah, they really show through the animation that Spore is a more serious sleep move than Sleep Powder, huh? I bet Spore is going to have serious competitive effects in competitive play for like at least 30 years from when these games came out. Anyway, she's got another Paras. Does she have a Parasect after that? Okay. Let's play with my food a little bit. Parasect has 2 double weaknesses. Be nice if I get one of those. 3 double weaknesses in this gen, because Bug is weak to poison. If I get a poison, fire, or flying attack, this will be quick. Wow, poor... Okay, well now they can miss Spore. Beyond the 1 in 256 chance, so that's something. Uh-oh, they have a super effective attack. That is rough for Gen 1 Parasect, having 3 different double weaknesses. I don't know if there's anything like that after Gen 1, off the top of my head. Okay, it took a crit Swift and then did miss a Spore. But it's not over yet. Okay, I miss Hypnosis. Guess we're even. Lower her accuracy again. Dodge another Spore. Well, I said I was playing with my food, and I guess the game was listening. We'll finish it off with poison damage from Poison Gas, as she misses Leech Life for good measure, so no recovery to offset the poison damage. GG. That's not quite how I thought that was going to go, but with Metronome, you never know, right? Lots of things could happen at a Metronome. You get a turn 1 Horn Drill and get the 1-hit KO. You get imprisoned and your opponent can't click Metronome anymore. Speaking from experience, of course. Oh, my cute mushroom Pokemon. There might not be any more mushrooms here. I think I got them all. Well, inside the cave, maybe. Alright, I guess that's all there was to see over here. The mushroom trainer. We got a trainer who loves pearls and talks about pearls and nothing, pretty much to the exclusion of anything else. And then we got a trainer who's all about mushrooms and has just picked every mushroom in the area. Now, I still want to find those legendary birds, but I need to make sure I'm prepared. And so let's just admire this Master Ball in my bag. It sure is a nice looking Master Ball. Maybe I should move it higher up in the bag. Like, I don't know, not the top slot, because I don't want to throw up by accident or anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think the Master Ball would look good right about here in the bag. And just to be sure, for when I find, because I'm trying to find these legendary birds, so that's the quest right now. Let's make sure I know how to catch a Pokemon. Okay, I got the Master Ball in a good cozy spot in my bag where I can admire it, but I won't accidentally throw it away. Let's make sure I know what I'm doing when I find something I want to use it on. This old man will help me. He's had his coffee now. He's not drunk. He hasn't been drunk in a while, actually. Good for him. He feels great. I'm not in a hurry. Because I want a demonstration of how to catch a Pokemon. Let's suppose that I don't know, just so that I can be sure that I do. Okay, old man used Pokeball. If anyone else needed a refresher, that was very informative. First, you need to weaken the target Pokemon. Well, not with Master Ball. Anyway, there's still the matter of actually finding the legendary birds. So let's try going down to Cinnabar Island. That's where I was that people were talking about them. I saw a weird-looking bird flying toward the sea. So if I just kind of head out to sea and start surfing around, maybe that will get me what I'm looking for. Or it'll give me a clue, at least, for where to go. And it's worth a shot. See if anything pops up. Well, you know, that is a bird-type Pokemon. Famously, I think normal and bird-type. Known moves, Water Gun again, and Sky Attack. That sounded like a Dragonair cry. But I definitely don't think this is a bird I'm looking for. It's at level 80. It would be pretty powerful if I could catch it. But it looks kind of scary, so let's just run away. Anyway, let's admire that Master Ball again. Oh, look, I have too many of them for the bag to display properly. Alright. There's the missing no glitch. I've talked before about the magic of schoolyard rumors about crazy cheats and glitches in these games. I mean, I think as kids, at least my peers, didn't process that they weren't in the game intentionally. So we're like, oh, it was like a cheat code, right? Like, oh, there's this secret thing that you can do that they programmed into the game for reasons that no one can explain. But either way, there were always all these crazy playground rumors about secret Pokemon and mysterious things you could do, and what really made the experience was that some of them were true. And of course, the missing no glitch is the absolute classic. I didn't learn the Mew glitch until later. That was when I became a very online Pokemon fan. I heard about that and looked up how to do it, but missing no I was doing as a kid because somebody in the schoolyard told me how, and they were actually right. So I figured I had to get the classic glitch into this playthrough. If there's one all-time classic Pokemon glitch, it has to be that one. Oh, I actually need to go... Actually, I was about to head off to Seafoam Islands right now. I actually do need to go get my Strength user from the PC. I'm gonna need Strength. I almost forgot. It would be awkward if I didn't bring that. So let's deposit ducks. Let's withdraw Kiawe. And now we go to the Seafoam Islands. And somehow I'm feeling like I'll be able to catch Articuno without too much difficulty. I don't know. I'm just feeling confident after surviving a strange encounter with whatever kind of bird that was just now. Now, navigating Seafoam Islands could be tricky. It's one of those early-gen dungeons where I never really properly learned my way around, but go down and push boulders through holes, right? Is the main thing. I guess I didn't have repel active just now. Okay, I mean, pretty linear path so far. At least coming from the Cinnabar side. And if I get on the water, I think I can get on the water, but the current will sweep me away, right? Oh, okay, guess not. What am I trying to do then? Oh, I can't, okay, can't go back there. I'm not goofing right now. I really haven't ever memorized this properly. I found an Ultra Ball. It just looked like there would probably be a hidden item there. What was this sign? Danger, fast current. Well, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. A fast current. Can I get on the water here? The current is much too fast. Okay, so I can't even get on the current to be swept away. Got it. Boulders might change the flow of water. Oh, I didn't realize they dropped an obvious hit like that in the middle of this area. This is one of those things where I just knew how to do it because some other kid told me, again, how to do it. There are more obvious hints in Gen 1 than I realized when I was a kid and I wasn't reading the signs, but also other kids were telling me what to do. Some of the things to do are not as obscure as I thought. But they're also not right in your face in a mandatory tutorial every single playthrough like more recent gens, which is nice. Anyway, I'd say this is where I was trying to get to. Let's just, to be safe, move this one out of the way first. Maybe I should leave my repel off in case I encounter a wild Slowbro. I still haven't caught one of those. Or evolved a Slowpoke. Anyway, push some boulders through the floor. Let's see what happens if I drop down now. What do you know? The current stopped. Convenient that I land right on my Gyarados. That would have been awkward if I just fallen into the water. No more harsh current. And a bright shining bird that not too long ago I saw flying toward the sea. Right there. I'm gonna make an honest attempt. I can just throw a Master Ball. I have a lot of them. I'm gonna try one time to actually weaken it and use Ultra Balls. This is my favorite legendary Pokemon. Let's at least pretend to try to earn it. Pretty good Gen 1 sprite, huh? And we know the names of the legendary birds because we snooped at that science email. I know that Articuno is one of the three. I definitely recognize that this is the bird that I saw flying over the sea. Scientists couldn't find this trio, but I found one of them right here. Let's try, now that it's paralyzed, let's try immediately throwing an Ultra Ball. I missed. I had a feeling that was going to happen. I just thought it would be funny. But I wanted to make sure to paralyze it first before Ash got knocked out by an Ice Beam crit. Now... let's see how it takes an Egg Bomb. Or I could transform into it. That would be funny. Let's see how it takes an Egg Bomb. Not super well. Okay, that was a crit. Try again. One more egg bomb. I missed. There's a real threat difference between its moves here. I think the only two moves it has right now are Ice Beam and Peck, and yeah, one of them's a bit stronger than the other one, huh? Let's try a tackle from Red. I know Red's weak to its attacks, but I'm looking to throw some weak attacks back at it, you know? Volterra. It's quite the sound effect on that Ice Beam. Once again, with the limited technology available to them, they did a good job of making it clear which moves mean business. Have I kind of put myself in an awkward spot here? Let's try Kiawe. Because I don't want to do too much damage to it, right? Let's try Strength. Got a pretty significant level difference here. Okay, that got it to Red. That'll do, I think. Get crit back by Peck. Let's try some Ultra Balls. I missed. It's a Red and Paralyzed and I missed. Oh, no wonder I did the missing no glitch every time as a kid. Salesman? Your job is to sit on the field and wall this thing while I throw Ultra Balls and hopefully I don't miss. How does it even dodge them when it's paralyzed? Unbelievable. Could you imagine if that were still a thing in any other generation of Pokemon? It's so demoralizing to not just have the ball not shake, but not even hit the Pokemon with it. The first time, and again, because I played Gen 2 before I played Gen 1, the first time I saw you missed the Pokemon pop up on my screen, which probably was in this battle against Articuno, but in my first ever Gen 1 playthrough, I was shaken by that. I was like, what in the world? Anyway, Iris is not taking Ice Beam, so let's admire the Articuno sprite a little bit longer. The details of this design are a little bit different, right? Like, its head is different. The beak is certainly a different shape, and I think something else is going on with the eyes compared to the final design. They hadn't quite nailed Articuno yet, but they got some of the key features. You can sort of make out the white bit on its torso, but they got the big wings and the shape is recognizable. They pretty much got the tail down. This is my favorite legendary Pokemon, the one that as a kid I imagined myself seeing and trying to catch for myself. And we can stop messing around with Ultra Balls and missing it now. This is why I came prepared. The Freeze Pokemon. A legendary bird Pokemon that is said to appear to doomed people who are lost in icy mountains. Well, hopefully that's not my situation right now. I thought about nicknames for the legendary birds ahead of time. I had a few different thoughts about what they could be, including whether to do a trio theme, but I'm not going to do a theme. They're going to get individual nicknames that tie into their history in one way or another. And Articuno is going to be... I do have space for it. Todd Snap. Why? Because there was a little mini arc in the Johto anime where Todd Snap traveled with Ash and friends for a while looking for Articuno, wanting to get some pictures of it, and he did eventually manage to do that. Also, of course, the legendary birds are in Pokemon Snap. That's probably the reference they were doing with those episodes of the anime. And I'm doing the full name Todd Snap because I'm pretty sure in Todd's early anime appearances, he just introduced himself as Snap, and everyone just called him Snap all the time. So just naming it Todd doesn't quite feel like it gets everything properly across, although it would be a funny name for a legendary. Todd Snap was transferred to Bill's PC, but not for long. I keep saying I think there's going to be another team change, and that is the one that I have in mind. I think Kiawe is going to be the odd mon out. I didn't mean to use strength there. I meant to open Kiawe's summary screen. It's been fun training a Marowak, but this is a special team for a special playthrough. Marowak's a cool Pokemon. It's a Pokemon that I like quite a lot, but I only have 6 slots available. I didn't think Ash was going to last this long on the team, but I am now determined to make Ash a champion because Pikachu is just so bad in this game. In much the same way that Ash Ketchum was a bad trainer at first, but he got better. We'll get this Pikachu better. Dragonair, Venusaur, Mew, the Gyarados that's been carrying me literally and figuratively through a lot of the game. I think they all have to stay. I think it is Kiawe who's going to say, well, who's going to retire to the PC. To clear a spot for Todd Snap. I have escape ropes, right? I think it's easiest if I just escape rope out of here. Especially when only one Pokemon in my party is conscious. But that took me all the way back to Cinnabar Island. I thought it was just going to take me to the cave entrance that I went in through. There's something I didn't remember about Gen 1. That was like I used teleport. That was teleport the item. It just took me back to the last Pokemon Center that I used, I guess. I did not know that was going to happen. Anyway. Kiawe, you've done a great job. You deserve a good rest. Todd Snap, welcome to the team. And bear with me for a second. I've decided what I'm going to do with my Bubble Beam TM. It's good coverage for Articuno in Gen 1. I decided this a while ago, which is why I stopped talking about what I might want to do with it. Early on, I had not decided on it yet. I'm just going to look up which TM it is, because I have so many in the PC. I'm going to do like trial and error. Okay, TM 11. Right here. I could Missing No Glitch this and teach Bubble Beam to more Pokemon, but I don't think I can be bothered. Oh, right. Todd Snap is still at low HP and paralyzed. Let's fix that. The other nice thing about adding a bird to my team, so if you're sad about the team change, maybe this will help. I'm going to teach Fly to Todd Snap. So now I don't need to be getting ducks out of the PC whenever I need to fly. So. Actually, I don't think the Fly HM is in my bag, is it? I think it's in the PC. Gen 1. Fun games. A little bit annoying in some ways that have since been fixed. I know they did what they could with the technology at the time. Famously, they really did what they could with the technology at the time. I didn't mean to withdraw the town map. Okay, well. Wow, this is where I am. Okay, TM 11. Oh, Iris could learn it. Of course, Fuji could learn it. I'll just go ahead and teach it to Todd Snap. I'm not that bothered about single-use TMs, especially such a mid-power one. And then let's teach Fly. Don't even have to delete any moves because Todd Snap only had 2. Now he has 4 moves. Ice Beam, Peck, Bubble Beam, and Fly. Kind of an odd set. I think Blizzard should be coming soon, and Blizzard is super broken in Gen 1. Blizzard is ridiculous in Gen 1. Deposit the HM, deposit the town map. And I think this is probably the final team. Of course, there are a couple more evolutions that might happen. But I think this is probably who's going through the league. We'll see. Might change my mind about anything, but for now, if I'm chasing down legendary birds, why stop at 1? Oh, I'm gonna need my cut user. I'm gonna need cut to get to Zapdos. Alright, back to the PC once again. But if I'm chasing legendary birds, why stop at 1 when there's another one already available? Can't deposit any other HMs that I need right now. So we'll deposit Fuji. I think it's Erica the Oddish that knows cut, and I think Erica the Oddish is in a different box. A lot of Pokemon. I didn't realize I went through the wrong thing. I didn't realize I was going to catch this many. Why am I messing up so many inputs? At least we get to listen to the Jinx cry twice back to back. That's what you wanted, right? That's the content you came here for. Okay. Zapdos time. I doubt I can hit it with an Ultra Ball either, but I don't care to try, so that's fine. Honestly, catching legendaries in Gen 1 especially is kind of nuts. Good thing they gave us a handy glitch. Though, before anyone asks, yes, I have also played through Gen 1 without using the Mew glitch. It was not my first playthrough, the missing no glitch, I mean. It was not my first playthrough, that's for sure. But I have done it. Almost out of repels. And swapped the super ones after that. But yeah, let's just surf down this inconspicuous river that I could easily have forgotten about if I were doing a blind first playthrough. Watch this game reward exploration. And first let's battle this guy. Wow, are you a Pokemaniac too? Want to see my collection? I suppose. Suppose I can see your collection. I'm okay with that. That's a cool Pokemon. Good start to the collection. But I have just the thing for it. You missed a horn attack. I think that's a 100 accuracy move. I could be wrong. I think we're seeing a lot of 100 accuracy misses today. And he has a Lickitung. That's a fun sprite. I'm still working on getting a Lickitung, of course. I'd be tempted to train Lickitung when I get one, but I think the team is set at this point. We'll see. Salesman is trying to learn Hydro Pump. I think I'm fine with Surf. I mean, I could drop Tackle, right? Or I could even drop Dragon Rage. Neither one's that useful. I might as well drop Dragon Rage for Hydro Pump. Dragon Rage is not going to be good at this point in the game. Or I could drop Tackle. Dragon Rage at least has coverage, even though it does very little damage. I don't need to be carrying Tackle and Bite. I might as well drop Tackle for Hydro Pump, I guess. But really, I'm good with Surf. Humph. I'm not angry. Do you think Gyarados can learn Thunderbolt in Gen 1? It can in later gens. I could, missing no glitch, my Thunderbolt TM and teach that to all of my Pikachu, Gyarados, and Dragonair. That's an option. I have more rare Pokemon at home. Power Plant. And that's all it says, just Power Plant. Not learning a whole lot about the place, might as well wander in and take a look. Didn't even mention that it's abandoned. Good place to find electric types, but I already have the only electric type I want other than the one that I am going to try to find deep in here. Where are my super repels? There we go. Huh. There's some kind of sprite over there. Articuno. Zapdos. This looks like a place where things zap. As we're about to find out from this item ball right here. Bzzzt. It's not an item ball. It's Voltorb. Believe I already have one though. And in any case, whether I have one or not, happy to run from this one. Just keeping an eye out for items. There are going to be some more Voltorb and stuff, but also some real items. Bzzzt. Back-to-back Voltorb though, unlucky. Some of them might be Electrode too, I'm not sure in this game. TM33, alright, let's see what that is. Reflect? Sure. There's gonna be a light screen TM in here too. Might already have that one, I don't remember. Bzzzt. For those keeping score at home, that's now 3 Voltorb and 2 actual items. Uh-oh. And this one didn't let me run peacefully. Whoops. That was a crit too. Okay. That Voltorb meant business. Bzzzt. That's now 4 Voltorb, 2 actual items. Not a great ratio for me. This is pretty strong too. They're level 40. Game Freak perhaps anticipating that people would not come explore here for a while. Although, of course, as soon as I beat Koga, it was possible to come here. The only... well, not the only barrier, but the last barrier is Surf. TM25, okay. 2 TMs for 4 Voltorb. What's this TM? Is this a light screen? Thunder. Alright. Could teach that to my Pikachu early, but I don't think I can be bothered. I'm playing red version, so I can get Electabuzz, I guess, is what that means, because here is one. I'll take a stab at catching this. Why not? I guess I could just throw a Master Ball, but on something like this, I might as well see about using up my Ultra Balls first. But I have actually kind of solved catching for the rest of the game, so if I feel like catching something, there's not really any reason not to. Well, let's see what we get here. Also, how did I encounter this? Do I have a repel active? I've forgotten what level it's at. I've forgotten whether I have a repel active. There's a lot I'm not really keeping track of this episode, but I'll just check after the battle. If I catch this, what do I name it? Paul used Electivire, famously. So that's a good answer. Never mind. Or was it always Volkner? But I think Paul is arguably even more memorable. Even though I was already not watching the anime by then, I'm still familiar with his game. Alright. Well, I caught Paul. The electric Pokemon, you don't say. Normally found near power plants, you don't say. They can wander away and cause major blackouts in cities. Do we ever get any lore on why this power plant is abandoned? I don't remember any. Did the troublesome electric Pokemon cause a mess here, or did they come later? After it was abandoned, but there was so much tasty electricity around. Did I miss something? Like a place I could go? We'll see. Rare candy. How many of those do I have now? No more room for items. I don't need to carry a Carbos. HP up. Great. Basically the same thing. Thought I saw a gap there, but no. Okay, I did miss the turn into there. So I'll double back for that. It's fine. I was further out of my way than I realized, but it's still fine. Should have gone in here first. Okay. Oh, encountered something with a repel still active. A Magneton. I guess that would be pretty strong for this area. Cool. Bzz. Bzzzt. Those were both Voltorb. Okay, unlucky. Oh, no, this one's an Electrode. Even better. Level 43, wow. I believe Electrode is the fastest Pokemon in Gen 1, so yeah, my chances of running from it were not great. That's 2 of my Pokemon knocked out by these guys. Scary place. Found a max elixir, but no more room for items. Great. There we go. At least it tells me what it is that time, when it's a hidden item. Be nice if it also told me when it's not a hidden item, what the item right in front of me is. Anyway, now we go deeper in. What are these obstacles? Are they supposed to be rocks? I don't know. Pretty strange place overall, this abandoned power plant, but I'm not complaining when there sure are some cool Pokemon in it, like that Electabuzz and something else. Bzzzt. Not this, though. I'm a little tired of these guys. There are a lot of them. Another Electrode, okay. They blow up immediately, unless I successfully run. Well, that's kind of fun. That was a crit, but Red took the hit. Let's go. Red's just too strong. But imagine navigating through all that to get here, and then having an actual battle against this thing. Yow! Yeah, that's not what's happening this time. That's a great sprite. Zapdos is solidly my second favorite of the 3 legendary birds, but they really nailed the sprite. I mean, the beak, again, is a little different. It's bigger, right? Zapdos always has a long beak, but this one has more girth to it as well. Its feet look huge, too. But they got the basic shape right, and it looks awesome in Gen 1 sprite form. But my second favorite legendary bird is not quite enough to crack this very exclusive team. What can you do? Zapdos, also the electric Pokemon, just like Electabuzz, very creative. A legendary bird Pokemon that is said to appear from clouds while dropping enormous lightning bolts. At least there's no implication that I'm doomed this time. This is the one that's going to be named... I don't have room for the Roman numeral. And I don't think I can get a 3. Okay, so it's just Lawrence instead of Lawrence the Third. But, you know, the second Pokemon movie was a huge influence on me as a young fan. Did a lot to shape my perception of the Pokemon world, and especially the role of legendaries. So yeah, once I decided I wasn't doing a trio theme, and they were all just getting their own individual relevant nicknames. Of course, one of them was going to be Lawrence the Third. I can still say Lawrence the Third, even though the character limit insisted on just Lawrence. And convenient exit right here that somehow takes me back out the front door. Keep that in mind a little bit later. But there we go. I've done an ice dungeon. I've done an electric dungeon. Won't be finding Moltres this episode, but it is in fact time for a fire dungeon. And doesn't that feel appropriate after the adventures I just had? I better stop by the PC. I need to deposit Erica, but also there are going to be some items to grab. And I'm going to be annoyed with my bag capacity again. But let's do what I can about that. But yeah, first, let's get Erica out of the party. I think I have to change boxes to withdraw whoever I deposited. Fuji, I think. Yep. And then items. My PC. I don't know if I'll ever use the bicycle again in this playthrough. Let's deposit these TMs. You know, honestly, I could sell my Ultra Balls. I really don't need them anymore. And that would clear a space in my inventory. Oh, is the PC full? PC's full. Oh, boy. Okay. How many rare candies do I have? 6? When I need 7? Not an intentional joke there. Well, it does still free a space in my bag if I deposit all of them. I'll sell my Ultra Balls and then I'll hope I'm okay from there. This is getting to be a problem though. It's all these TMs clogging up my space because I probably imagined the kids would just be using them quickly, and I'm sure the kids often were, but that's not what I'm doing here. Well, let's hope for the best. Gonna be a bit of a problem in... Is this place called Pokemon Mansion? I think so. Gonna be a bit of a problem in here. The burned out former lab. But yeah, we've done Ice Dungeon, we've done Electric Dungeon, now it's time for Fire Dungeon. No legendary bird in this one, but still some interesting stuff to find. Very strange layout, but this place burned down, so that's a bit of an excuse. Got escape rope. Hidden item? Just what I don't need right now, but didn't find one there anyway. A Wheezing. At a higher level than Iris, so not warded off by the Super Repel. Lots of fire and poison types in here, but I will be trying to avoid them when I can. Even the coughing is not driven away. It's at the same level as Iris. Oh well. We'll make do. We'll manage. Whatever happens here. There's only these poison types that I'm seeing so far. Can I use this bed? No, it's decorative? Okay. You never know, I'm finding PCs all over the place, but I guess I can't use these beds. Anyway, let's go upstairs. Now there's a different fire type. Or a different, there's a different encounter. It is also a fire type. Ponytail's a cool Pokemon design. And yeah, the Gen 1 sprite is very recognizably Ponyta with some differences, but it's interesting. I really like it. I'm not going to try to catch one right now. Maybe if I encounter another one. I mean, it's just a matter of tossing a Master Ball now. I might as well. Maybe I should have. This place is, like, huge. But I already have a seal, so I wouldn't trade my Ponyta for a seal. That trade kind of feels like a wash anyway. Those are both Pokemon that I like a lot, but not among my absolute favorites. Speaking of Pokemon I like a lot, look at that Ninetales breathing fire in its sprite. And then spamming a useless move that I believe literally does nothing in Gen 1. Well, it makes the battle easier. But that's a cool sprite. I've been saying that a lot, but this is definitely one of the best so far. Can we get Iris to a higher level than a Wild Coughing now? That would be convenient. Not yet. Great trainer class, Burglar. That's how these guys want to be known, I guess. That's their profession. They wear it on their sleeve. I wonder where my partner went. Yep, he's not the only burglar in here. If the other guy battles like him, that's fine. Level 40, okay. I'd have to swap somebody else to the front for the repels to stay effective, and I don't think I want to. So, it's fine. There we go, hidden item. Nice. I swear that item down below just spawned in while I was using the repel. That looked weird. At least to me. Maybe I wasn't properly paying attention. Max potion. Hopefully I already have one and that doesn't take up a bag slot. And here we go. Creation of Mewtwo documented in this building where it happened. I think it's super cool that in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee they added like the tank that Mewtwo was grown in, and you can even interact with it and see that something was beating on it from the inside. Gen 1, they don't have fancy stuff like that lying around, but we do get some history of the original powerhouse legendary Pokemon. February 6th, Mew gave birth. We named the newborn Mewtwo. Wait, doesn't that blow a hole in my theory that Game Freak originally intended Mew to be extinct? It sounds like they got a living Mew specimen in the game canon. But then like every other canon, they just took a fossil. Maybe they're being poetic there. Hard to say what happened. The scientists aren't here to tell us. We might know where to find one of them, but I don't think he'll talk. Anyway, I think I found the other burglar. I can't get out. This old place is one big puzzle. That was probably not the first diary that I was supposed to read. I was probably supposed to read the ones that are like, we found this thing that we call Mew. You know, before jumping straight to Mew gave birth. But I knew up there was a dead end, so I went there first. With prior knowledge of the area. Anyway. This burglar has 2 Pokemon. First one's a Charmander. That's cool. Where did a burglar get a rare Pokemon like that? And he has a Charmeleon. Okay. And people haven't discovered that Pokemon can reproduce yet, so... he must have just found 2 of these. You know, quote-unquote found them somehow. Let's give Iris some experience, instead of just sacking her. I could have tried my new Hydro Pump there, I forgot. Next time, I guess. There we go, now Iris is at a higher level than a wild coughing, hopefully. Oh no, my bag of loot! What are you guys even burgling from here? I guess there could be some science equipment or something that survived the fire, but it doesn't look like there's anything very valuable around. Switches open and close alternating sets of doors. There's probably a hidden item here, but I don't have the item finder and I don't care. Got another diary. Found a higher level coughing. Great. July 5th, Guyana. Real world location mentioned in Pokemon once again. South America. A new Pokemon was discovered deep in the jungle. Yeah, okay, I'm probably supposed to read that before Mew gave birth. Because that's what they discovered. Calcium. I'll throw that away promptly, I'm sure. That's one of the biggest... like, I kind of just accept it and don't think about it much most of the time, but the idea that... one of the biggest twists in really early Pokemon Gen 1, the idea that perhaps this was meant to be a version of the real world. I think there's some old promotional media or something where, like, the premise was this is the real world and Pokemon have appeared recently, which would fit pretty well with, you know, all the references to real world locations. The fact that the Kanto region just has the same name as a region of Japan that it's based on. And the fact that even though this is the world of Pokemon, people in Gen 1 don't know very much about Pokemon yet, which has been coming up a lot throughout these games. It does very much feel like that was the original intention, sort of an alternate timeline for a real-life world before it very quickly turned into a different idea instead. But I am wandering around Japan right now, huh? Or arguably, that might have been the idea at some point. Anyway, I've avoided messing with the switches up to now, but I think it's time. After all, a secret switch? Press it? Who wouldn't? Anyone would press that switch, surely. Now I can go in here and read another diary entry, okay. July 10, we christened the newly discovered Pokemon, Mew. So then I guess they discovered Mew in July, and then I think it was February on Mew giving birth, so it's like 7 months later. Okay. And hey, there's the theme of evolution and scientific progress again, right? The world changing as these strange creatures are discovered and we learn more about them. And eventually we engineer our own, more powerful than any others we've seen before. Of course, the broader Pokemon world being added over the generations, and especially the introduction of stuff like Arceus, really kind of shakes up that story, but what they were cooking originally is pretty interesting, even as some parts of it have been dropped. Anyway, I guess I got what I was getting from that, and I'll have to hit the switch again before I can go upstairs from the other stairs on the correct path. Not the dead end with a burglar. All these level 34 coughing, just as I thought there might not be any. Oh well. Press it? Who wouldn't? Every single time. Great little inner dialogue there for our mostly, but not quite always, silent protagonist. Inner dialogue? Inner monologue, I guess. People forget that Red does show some personality here and there. Got an iron to throw away later. I'll be wanting to go that way. And actually, there's not much else to do but go that way. Well, I said that I might as well catch a Ponyta, so I guess that still holds. Easy catch. I can still hear the low HP noise while I'm reading the Pokedex. That's so annoying. It's not a big deal, though. Its hooves are 10 times harder than diamonds. It can trample anything completely flat in little time. I don't think I have a Blaine yet, so you can be Blaine. Honestly, I haven't been keeping track of what nicknames I've already used. It's possible that I've duplicated one by now. But let's just press some secret switches, because after all, who wouldn't? Are you a burglar? My mentor once lived here. Was your mentor Mr. Fuji? Okay, not a burglar. If he were a burglar, he'd tell me. Of course, scientists are also criminals sometimes. We know. Let's swap to red. Razor Leaf is really critting everything right now. Thank you, Gen 1. That's gotta be something to do with the weird Gen 1 crit rate, speed, interaction thing that I don't fully understand. I don't think it's a coincidence that it's critting this often. I can't think of any this episode that haven't crit. There will surely come a time when it fails to crit again, but maybe not for a while. You gonna blow up? And then be surprised that you lost the battle? That's a very Gen 1 Voltorb thing to do. Well, we don't get to find out thanks to a crit. Whew, overwhelming. So you're stuck? Try jumping off over there. I might as well catch a Growlithe first. That's a cool Pokemon. Look at that cute puppy. Decent sprite. Very protective of its territory, it will bark and bite to repel intruders from its space. I just named something Blaine. You know who's a notable character with a Growlithe? If we play the regional variant game again, this could be Perrin. That's her name, right? I think so. There's probably a hidden item down here. I don't care. Moving on. Where exactly am I supposed to jump down? I always forget this part, whether it's here or on the other side. Let's try here. And that was wrong. But you can see the little gap there where I am supposed to drop down, so if I were still confused, I would know now. Did I hit the switch again? This is such a weird place. Gen 1 Kanto is so full of weird obstacles where it's hard to imagine how people actually ever use this as a workplace. Like Sylph with the warp panels everywhere. Which I guess are meant to show what a cutting-edge, high-tech place it is. Just as Sabrina with all that she symbolizes has them in her gym. And then the Team Rocket hideout with the arrows on the floor. Like, how do people get work done in any of these places? The statues controlling the doors, but every statue controls every door. Anyway, I think I found the right way now. Thanks for the hint. Bye. Yep. Drop down here. Another scientist. Who are you? There shouldn't be anyone here. You gonna blow up immediately? I'll switch out. You can blow up on a different one of my Pokemon. Uh-oh. Now the self-destruct will be stronger if that is what he's going for. Has to execute it first, though. Maybe the badge boosts are also a factor in me getting all these crits. I don't know how badge boost works. I don't know how badge boosts work, or even which ones I have right now. But maybe that bump in speed has something to do with this. There are a lot of Gen 1 mechanics that I know. There are a lot of Gen 1 mechanics where I know that there's a mechanic, but I don't necessarily know what it is. I think a lot of that has been coming up throughout the series, and if you've been watching, you know this already. But there's definitely some reason that this Venusaur is critting every Razor Leaf, and it's not just the boosted crit rate on that move, though I'm sure that's also a factor. But if I fought like Lance right now, I'm not sure Razor Leaf would crit his Pokemon. I don't know. This scientist is no Lance. Ouch! A key? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about either. Why would I ask that guy about a key? I guess Red already knows that he has to find his way into the gym. He's determined. Wait, there were no hints about that. The door was locked, and there wasn't any NPC who was like, oh, I think there might be a key to the gym in the burnt-out building. They really did just make me to find this one for myself by exploring, huh? Which I guess is fine. There's not a ton to explore by this point in the game. People would be drawn to this area. But why is Red going to the scientist and saying, where is there a key? Why is Red thinking about keys when he comes in here at all? The fact that he's not really quite a silent protagonist doesn't make him any less mysterious sometimes, huh? Anyway, now we get to the good diary entries, I'm sure. September 1st. That's like 8 months after it was born then. Well, I guess the body was growing for a while and whatnot. Mewtwo is far too powerful. We have failed to curb its vicious tendencies. Did science go too far? Seems like it might have. Uh-oh, where am I now? This guy might have gone too far as well. There's a third burglar. What are you guys, the 4 burglar brothers? Is there another one who's going to avenge you all later? I keep forgetting I have a new move to try on these fire types, but if he has another fire type, let's go for it now. Kind of feel like Surf looked more impressive, but Hydro Pump at least doubled down on the jets of water. It showed 4 of them. That's something, I guess. Ow! You can find stuff lying around. Yeah, you would know, wouldn't you? No more room for items. Well, I have plenty of items to get rid of. Well, I don't know about plenty, but I have some. That is some stuff lying around, though. I guess that's the kind of thing that the burglars are taking. This is not going to clear enough space. I'm going to have to make a tough decision before I'm done in here, I think. But let's see what this item is first. TM14. There are at least a couple of good TMs in here, along with the key. And there's one of them, Blizzard. I could teach that to Todd Snap, but I think Todd Snap's going to learn that anyway. Maybe I should teach it to Iris or Salesman. Might be good on Salesman. Anyway, who wouldn't press that secret switch? Let there be an item. Oh, there's an item over here. Okay. Full restore. I hope I already had one of those. We'll see. This place is ideal for a lab. Well, it used to be. I think. Dragonair and Venusaur have such similar cries. Of course, that's Gen 1. A lot of Pokemon have very similar cries. But I do feel like I just heard the same one twice as I swap between those two. The Electrode and the Power Plant were scarier. They were at higher levels and they clicked self-destruct immediately. These scientists are just not measuring up. Wow, I guess they're busy doing their research. What was that for? We're trainers and our eyes met. It is what it is. I like it here. It's conducive, excuse me. It's conducive to my studies. That's great. You have your conducive environment. I think that's the last trainer in here, so I'm going to get more out of my repels now. And I'm going to press on, because apparently I'm looking for a key in here. I learned that I'm doing that from the previous scientist. For candy, I think that's enough to get a Lickitung. Interesting. TM22, I think that's Solar Beam. I think Blizzard and Solar Beam are TMs that I remember being in here, and I have Blizzard already, and yeah, that is Solar Beam. Who can learn it on my team? Only Fuji and red. Okay. And then lying around on the floor in the deepest reaches of the lab, the last place anyone coming in here would get to. No more room for items. I do need this item, unfortunately. Let's drop this full heal. To pick up the secret key. Without which, no trainer can enter the gym. Pretty awkward. For all the trainers around here. Now, speaking of things that are awkward, I could use an escape rope right now, but I want to demonstrate that there's an exit from this place, because this is the one dungeon that got me good when I was a kid. I did not think that there was a way out of the Pokemon Mansion. I thought Game Freak had messed up. I thought when you dropped down here, that was it, you were stuck. Because, of course, there's only the front door, right? There's only that one way in. You'd think there's only one way out. That's why I said, remember this later when I was at the power plant, and I went out through a different exit, and it just deposited me out the same front door. There's that little shortcut that Game Freak takes sometimes in Generation 1, but I didn't realize that also applied to the Pokemon Mansion. I did not ever, as a kid, years later I did, like years later, but as a kid I did not ever find the exit from this place, and so I would think I was just stuck here. In reality, that's an exit. It also doesn't look like an exit, right? Like, it's not clearly marked. I guess you can see that the wall isn't there, because there's a wall along the bottom over here. There's not a wall here. I guess they trusted the kids to figure out that that was an opening, and maybe some of the kids did. But me, genuinely, I thought Game Freak had messed up making the game and not built a way out of Pokemon Mansion. I just took at face value that that was the case. And so I would battle wild Pokemon until all my Pokemon had fainted, and I would be sent back to the Pokemon Center minus half my money. That was the only way that I ever got out of here as a kid, because I didn't know there was another way. I guess it's probably my fault. I don't know. This is not a very clearly marked exit in my book, but I do see what they were going for. You can kind of see there's not a wall there. But if I were still a kid playing this right now, that would be the only thing I would know, and you would watch me just battle wild Pokemon until my Pokemon all struggled to death, and I whited out and went to the Pokemon Center. Good thing I don't think I have to do that anymore. It just deposits me out the same door. A little bit confusing, right? Anyway, I can go to the gym now that I'm turned away. Now that I have the key, I'm not turned away the moment I step here. But I also think I can get a Lickitung now, so let's do that first, of course. What did I name my Slowpoke? My newer Slowpoke? Is that Will? It would have to be a level 30. I have a level 30 Snowpoke. I have a level 30 Snowpoke somewhere, right? It's not gonna be Claire. Is it Clara? Yeah, okay. And then I need all of my rare candies. Obviously, this was not the only way to do this. I could just grind, but I'm not doing anything else with my rare candies anyway. Let's make sure I use all of them on the correct Pokemon. Oh, Clara's poisoned. That's fitting, I guess. I think the location for this in-game trade was the gatehouse west of Fuchsia City. Oops, I don't know what I just deleted. Doesn't matter, I'm trading this Pokemon away. Deleting Confusion for Water Gun, not ideal. But it's someone else's problem. Water Gun at level 33 is kind of crazy. Anyway, I would ask where that in-game trade was, but there's nobody to answer because I'm not streaming this. I'm recording it. Oh well. Clara's evolving. There's that Slowbro sprite again. It is a pretty cool one. Trying to learn Withdraw. Again, it doesn't really matter. But sure. If I hadn't deleted Confusion, this Slowbro would be off to a good start for its new trainer. Anyway, I'm going to trust that I remembered right, and I'm going to fly to Fuchsia City, see if I can find this thing. Todd Snap, I need your powers again, so I can get a very important Pokemon, a Lickitung, to probably sit in the PC forever, unfortunately. Even in Gen 1, they just made too many cool Pokemon. And you just have to make some tough choices in a playthrough, huh? Oh well, that's the authentic Pokemon experience in every generation. Is it this guy? It is. Hope you don't mind that your Slowbro is poisoned. It suits the nickname, at least. This is probably the last in-game trade I'm doing in this playthrough. Can't think of another one, but maybe there's something that I want to do. So one more time, let's watch the Pokemon go through the link cable one at a time. Slowbro went over to Trainer, and Trainer is sending Lickitung. Waving farewell as Lickitung is transferred into the link cable, out of one Game Boy, over to the other Game Boy, and out of the machine. Mysterious machine, and here is my Lickitung. What a silly Pokemon. Might have been fun to train. Maybe another time. Hey, thanks. Isn't my old Lickitung great? His name is Mark. Hi, oh hi, Mark. I have Marcel and I have Mark, both from in-game trades. Okay. Stomp, Disable, Defense Curl, Slam. This thing could actually be pretty strong. For Gen 1. It's tempting to train Mark, but I just don't have room in my team. So Mark, you're going to have fun in the PC where you'll make lots of friends. Sound good? Bye, Mark. Alright, gym time. I've already moved Salesman to the front of the party. In the Cinnabar gym, you can answer trivia questions to skip trainers, but I don't want to skip trainers, so I'm going to get all the trivia questions wrong. Also, fun fact, when you do the Mew glitch, sometimes you can see an old man appear on the roof of Cinnabar gym. And I thought there was... I keep saying the Mew glitch when I mean the missing no glitch. I thought there was some secret to that. I think it's just this guy, but he just appears here when things are glitchy. I thought there was some secret to that. Probably I was influenced a little bit by the anime because Cinnabar Gym was kind of secretive in the anime. Ash had to like find a way, secret entrance to the volcano to find Blaine and battle him or something like that. And so I thought there was some secret that was being indicated by the old man on the roof, but I could never figure out what it was, however much I played around with the glitch, and I think now I know. It was just the glitch. There was nothing going on there. No old man on the roof to investigate right now, and investigating would get me nowhere. I could try to make him appear, but I don't think it's worth my time. Instead, yo, champ in the making, the hot-headed Blaine is a fire Pokemon pro. Douse his spirits with water. You better take some burn heals. And somehow, even though I had to go deep into the abandoned, burned-down lab to get a key to even be able to enter this gym, somehow Blue has already beaten it. How does he do it? Maybe he hid the key in the Pokemon Mansion. That would kind of make sense, I guess. Pokemon quiz. Get it right, and the door opens to the next room. Get it wrong, and face a trainer. If you want to conserve your Pokemon for the gym leader, then get it right. Here we go. Caterpie evolves into Butterfree. Tricky. No, Caterpie evolves into Metapod. But then it turns into Butterfree, so I mean, the answer's probably yes, right? Wait, they actually accept that as the right answer? Wait, I was trying to get it wrong. I thought that was a trick question because Caterpie evolves into Metapod. What do you... I swear I came in here with an intention to get all the trivia questions wrong, and I got boomed already by the very first one. Can I still battle this guy? I was a thief, but I became straight as a trainer. Okay, I can still battle him. Caterpie doesn't evolve into Butterfree? I mean, it does, but not like that. Not directly, which is what I thought the question was asking. Wow, I just got super Gen 1'd. I was trying to get basic trivia wrong, and the game decided I was right. What a silly generation. Fun to look back at it, though, after all these years. I mean, that's the premise of the series. Anyway, Salesman should pretty much sweep this whole gym, apart from, you know, running out of PP is a possible issue. But also, I think I'll give my Bubble Beam Articuno a chance against Blaine. I think I'll see how Todd Snap handles that battle. There's that fire-breathing Ninetales again. Cool sprite. Pretty rare and interesting that a Pokemon sprite is doing something active like that. I surrender. I guess they put burglars in this gym because burglars train fire types, as we saw in the Pokemon Mansion. I guess burglars as a trainer class use fire types because we specifically encounter them in the fire type area. So the fire type gym also has some burglars among its gym trainers, and wide-eyed young challengers come in here and they have to fight people whose profession is burglar. Why not, right? I can't help stealing other people's Pokemon. Oh, that was present tense. He's still a burglar. Blaine, you might not have rehabilitated this guy as much as you think. You might want to watch out. Do you know how hot Pokemon Fire Breath can get? I don't. I hope you're not just telling me about it to distract me so my Pokemon can get stolen, because it seems like that happens around here. Okay. Yeah, I mean, like I said, Salesman should just sweep these gym trainers aside, at least until I run out of Water-type PP. It's another gym, like Erica's, that would be more interesting if it weren't a very good bet that you have something that just sweeps through it. Of course, for Erica in this playthrough, I actually didn't, and it actually made the gym more interesting, but the awkward thing about Cinnabar Island, the fire gym on a volcanic island is pretty cool, but chances are anyone coming here has a water type. Unless they're doing a theme playthrough, where they're not allowed a water type for whatever reason. They probably trained one by now, partly because it's useful for surfing to get here in the first place. And so the gym ends up a little bit not very interesting battle-wise. And I guess with these late gyms, there not being a ton of Pokemon in Gen 1 kind of backfires a little bit, because there are only a handful of fire types that this gym can spam, and they only do so much. Maybe the type-specific gyms don't really hold up super well in Gen 1 this far in, but especially when the player is heavily incentivized to have something that just wrecks this type. It does make this gym really easy in like every playthrough. Oh well. Yow! Hot, hot, hot! Fire, or to be more precise, combustion. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, never mind. I guess I'm not enough of a super nerd to actually learn from that guy. Pokemon quiz. Get it right and the door opens to the next room. Get it wrong and face a trainer if you want to conserve blah 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 blah. Here we go. There are 9 certified Pokemon League badges. Absolutely true. Oops. Sorry, bad call. There we go. I got one wrong when I meant to, instead of accidentally getting one right. You can't win. I have studied Pokemon totally. It's an interesting mix of super nerds and criminals, this gym. Weird group. But I guess a weird guy leading them, too. Well, I guess the science town with the abandoned lab would be a place where the gym trainers would be super nerds and criminals, wouldn't it? It all does kind of fit. Even if it feels like some odd decisions were made along the way. Yeah, just a bunch of like Ponyta, Growlithe, Vulpix, and Charmander in here. There's not really much any of them can do about a water type that I've been training for a while. Oh well. At least the next gym has a bunch of variety in the gym trainers teams. The leader is still type specialist, but the gym trainers not so much. But of course, that's for next time. That guy just had a mix of like all the weakest fire types in here. Wow, my studies! My theories are too complicated for you. Also, I've never really understood this part. There are two guys. They're sort of in separate rooms, but there's no door here, just a little gap in the wall. Feels like I could probably just skip this guy and do the trivia over here, right? Then there's a second quiz machine here, too. I don't know if there was a quiz that I could have done there that would have, if I got it wrong, made me fight this guy who's not even in frame when I'm at the machine. I've never quite understood this part of the layout, but it all makes perfect sense the rest of the way. Just one room at a time along this windy path. Alright. Poliwag evolves 3 times. Absolutely true. Oops. I just like using fire Pokemon. Alright, well this guy's very straightforward. He's not threatening to steal anything. He's not talking my ear off about combustion. He is a burglar, so he's probably going to steal something, but he just likes using fire Pokemon. Maybe he became a burglar because using fire Pokemon is what burglars do. Anyway. Quick battle. Too hot to handle. Have to wait for the door to open before I can talk to him again. There we go. I wish there was a thief Pokemon. I'd use that. Oh. You stick around for the next 30 years and you'll find some. That guy's gonna use a Thievul. Is there a fire-type thief Pokemon? Well, next generation I think will introduce the Move Thief, and I'm sure some fire types can learn it. Wait till that guy discovers Houndoom. Are Thunder moves effective against ground element type Pokemon? Alright, a lot going on in that question. I mean, element type is a term we're used to now. It's been coming up a lot in this playthrough. No wonder it's kind of a mouthful. No wonder they cut it down to just type after Gen 1. I've talked before though about the guidebook I had, not guidebook, the official Pokemon handbook I had, where it used the term element for what we would now call a type, and it used type for what we would now call, I think, a classification. Again, the example I think I used before, Pikachu, element, electric, type, mouse. They were still figuring out the terminology. This game likes element type. But I've glossed over something, and that is Thunder moves. What do you think? Does the Thunder element type work on ground? I think it does. Oops. I know why Blaine became a trainer. This is my favorite NPC in this gym. But the battle's not going to be any more interesting than the others. He's got a Rapidash. I think that's the first one in this playthrough. That's kind of interesting. That's a cool sprite. Very dynamic. If it had gone for Fire Spin, we would have been stuck here for a while. Since it outsped my Gyarados. But yeah, it looks like it's got embers coming off it. Cool sprite. Still an easy battle. Fire Spin would have dragged it out more though, because it works like rap. Ow! That's all he has to say. Well, no, he has one more thing to say. Blaine was lost in the mountains when a fiery bird Pokemon appeared. Its light enabled Blaine to find his way down. That's why Blaine became a trainer. I love that little bit of lore, because you know I really like legendary Pokemon, and you know I really like the early gen take on legendary Pokemon as basically powerful cryptids. Nobody's quite sure whether they really exist, but they sure are remarkable if they do. And I'm a sucker for legendary sightings, like the one we had through those binoculars. So the idea that Blaine became a trainer because long ago he was lost... He was lost? Yeah, he was lost in the mountains and he was guided by a Moltres. I don't know, I've always remembered that dialogue because hearing about a legendary sighting like that in universe just really plays to my interests. It's a cool moment. I like hearing that kind of thing. Nowadays, you don't get that anymore. Legendaries are integrated into the story very directly in different ways. There aren't really any legendaries integrated into this story, right? There are clues about Mewtwo that we found in the mansion that were optional to read, but Legendaries are basically, in this game, just rare creatures that you can go find in some out-of-the-way places that you have to go deliberately explore if you want. I don't think it's bad that legendaries are so often tied into the stories nowadays, but there is something I like about this old-school Gen 1 approach to legendaries. And that includes, yeah, somebody had a sighting. Maybe this mysterious bird really is out there somewhere. If someone can explore enough and find it. Okay, this game makes it really easy to find Moltres compared to the others, but I don't know if I'm being very articulate here. I don't know if I'm really getting what I want to across all that well, but yeah, I like legendaries as Pokemon cryptids a little bit more than I like legendaries as the god of time or space, or legendaries as your motorcycle that you ride around on. I think all those things are cool, but maybe because this is my first experience of legendary Pokemon, this is the approach that I tend to prefer if I have to have a favorite. And so hearing about Blaine's Moltres sighting is super cool. I'll have a Moltres sighting later, I'm sure. Anyway. Is this my favorite trivia question? Nope. I guess that'll be the next one. Pokemon of the same kind and level are not identical. Don't be ridiculous. Of course they're identical. Pokemon Champions is going to get rid of any differences. Probably not, but that's what some people are saying. Of course they're identical. Oops. What, do they have some kind of individual values or something? I've been to many gyms, but this is my favorite. Do you think Champions will be out by the time this episode goes up? At time of recording, we still don't have a release date, and some people are getting antsy about it. I'm not excited for Champions. I feel very neutral about it. It'll be interesting, but I also enjoy Scarlet and Violet VGC. I don't really much care about moving to Champions. It's not like it'll give me a new region to explore or something, but some people are getting antsy. We'll probably at least know more by the time this goes up. Anyway, I battled another burglar. That was a pretty quick battle. Yowza, too hot. Us fire Pokemon fans like Ponyta and Ninetales. Yeah, I noticed. Those are cool Pokemon. Can't really blame you. Or very hot Pokemon, you could say. Alright, here we go. TM28 contains Tombstoner. I'm waiting to this day for them to make Tombstoner a real move. Or make some kind of reference to this, because this was a memorable one. To me, at least. I feel like I've seen other people make references to Tombstoner here and there. Anyway, it's so memorable that I think it surely must be true, so yes, Tombstoner, correct. Oops. Fire is weak against H2O. Oh, I noticed. Don't worry, I'm aware. You're about to get a practical lesson. Alright. Well, I've run out of this kind of H2O, so let's hope I connect with this kind. The surf animation really is more impressive, isn't it? Hydro Pump 1 has twice as many jets, but the Surf 1 also has a couple of those jets, and it fills the screen with water first. Rare miss there, I think, on indicating visually which move is stronger. Oh, snuffed out. One more door to open. Water beats fire, but fire melts ice Pokemon. Well, funny you should say that, because I'm going to test it. I'm going to give my newest team member, Todd Snap, the first shot at Blaine. Look at that Blaine sprite. That's not remotely what he looks like, but I guess that was the overworld sprite they had for a bald man. Does that scream Blaine to you? Certainly not to me. I don't know why I thought there'd be a hidden item. Oh, because it looks like there should be a machine here, but there isn't. But there's nothing interesting over there. Not even at the machines. So let's go. Ha! I am Blaine. I am the leader of Cinnabar Gym. My fiery Pokemon will incinerate all challengers. Ha! You better have Burn Heal. And there he is. Again, what do we make of a mysterious old man gym leader? Old scientist, I suppose. In the town of science, cutting edge and sometimes gone too far. Built on the natural powerhouse that is a volcano. Right after the gym with the young prodigy unlocking new powers beyond what humanity knew it was capable of and displacing the old traditional gym. I don't know. I feel like there's something there, but I am not figuring out right now what it is. What I am figuring out is that this Growlithe in front of me is weak to Bubble Beam. That's a fun animation. And this is a level 50 Articuno, base 125 special. Unlike the special attack stat that Articuno has in later gens, Articuno, of course, famously won a Regulation F regional with a choice spec set for ice-type attacks. And it didn't even have that 125 base special anymore. So this Articuno's even stronger. Nice crit. That's better Rapidash there too. Salesman wasn't doing that. But here's Blaine's ace. Arcanine looks awesome. Okay, its facial expression's a little odd, but... big, powerful, fluffy dog. Ready to wreak havoc, melt through my ice type. Well, let's see. Okay, we didn't one-shot it with a Bubble Beam. Fire Blast looks great, of course. And did a lot of damage. But Todd Snap should be able to win this. Good debut battle for newest team member Todd Snap. I don't think that crit even mattered. GG to Blaine. I have burnt out. You have earned the Volcano Badge. Ha! The Volcano Badge heightens the special abilities of your Pokemon. I think that's the last badge boost, so I think I'll have all of them now. I guess I got speed at some point. Here, you can have this too. TM38, that'll be Fire Blast. I could probably teach that to Salesman. Gyarados is a great Gen 1 Kaiju move pool. Probably even in Red and Blue. We'll see, maybe. TM38 contains Fire Blast. Teach it to a Fire-type Pokemon is exactly what I was thinking I might not do, but suggestion noted, Blaine. Charmeleon or Ponyta would be good bets. Well, I don't have a Charmeleon, and I'm not training a Ponyta. You got anything more to say? Fire Blast is the ultimate fire technique. Don't waste it on water Pokemon. Okay, I have to teach it to my Gyarados, right? Don't waste it on water Pokemon? I can do exactly that. I think the fact that Blaine told me not to is gonna be the deciding factor here. Salesman, I need to stop carrying so many TMs around anyway. And you don't need Dragon Rage anymore. That was the only Fire Blast TM I'm getting, but that's fine. I'm not bothered about it. Move Salesman back to the front for next time. But for now, of course, that's the episode. I've caught 49. I've caught 49 Pokemon. Maybe I'll get the experience all, after all, and annoy you all with that around league time. But for now, 7 badges down. 1 more to get from a mysterious, unknown gym leader. We'll figure that one out next time.